right.
Everybody pretend like they love each other.
That's right.
We do.
Y'all don't look at my scribbling over here.
No. I'm too short to stand in front of you. One of y'all want to give us a signal when y'all are ready? We're all good.
Okay, is everybody ready? Okay. All right. All right. Good afternoon. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Lieutenant Tony Tilley with the Anderson City Police Department. I'm also president of the Anderson Area Crimestoppers. The reason that we have called you here today is to talk about a case from Anderson County Sheriff's Department, and we'll get to that in just a few moments. But on behalf of the family and on behalf of the Sheriff's Department and Anderson Area Crimestoppers, I want to thank you all for being here today and taking part in this press conference. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a timeline about what happened and what we're here for today. On June the 6th, 2015, just a few days after her first birthday, little Leonna Wright disappeared from Edgewood Square Apartments. Investigators since then with the Anderson County Sheriff's Department have worked and Sheriff McBride is with us today as a representative of this department and has committed the resources of his department to bring some resolve to this case in order to bring some level of comfort to this family. Tracy Fant is also with us today. Tracy has taken her own time. She has volunteered her best efforts and has organized multiple vigils and marches in honor of little Leonna. And she has been working closely with Leonna's family and with legislators in an attempt to create Leonna's law, which would mean that unless there is clear evidence of a runaway or a kidnapping, if a child is left in a person's care and that child disappears, that person is held responsible to the maximum extent of the law. Her family, Leonna Wright's family, has some members here today, including her grandfather, Walter Cowan, and they are pleading today with this community in an attempt to find any lead, no matter how significant or insignificant that lead may seem, that if anyone knows anything, to please come forward and share that tip. And as you know, oftentimes it is the small things that bring closure and break major cases such as this one. We do know that someone, somewhere, does have information that will be helpful in solving this case and bringing justice for little Leonna and for her family. And finally, today we have representatives from Anderson Area Crimestoppers with us. We have our Anderson County Coroner Greg Shore representing Crimestoppers, also Ada Martin, and Cecil Dyer is here with us representing Crimestoppers. And as the president of this organization, I'm happy to announce today that through the generous donations of concerned citizens of this community and through the tireless efforts of people like Ms. Fant and Sheriff McBride, the funds have been secured to increase the reward for any information that leads to the arrest of a suspect or suspects in this case. And today we are pleased to announce that this reward now stands at $10,000. Once again, I want to stress that this reward money has been raised through the efforts of these citizens, through the efforts of Ms. Fant and her family, and little Leonna's family, and Sheriff McBride. These are people who care deeply for our community, and specifically for our children. We believe that all of our children deserve an opportunity to live and thrive in this society and to be happy and safe. And cases like this one rob our innocent children of that basic right and opportunity. And we, the citizens, have a responsibility to speak out, to bring resolve to this family and justice for this precious child. We're pleading with this community again today as we offer this sum of $10,000, and we stress that any tip received and any payment made in the form of a reward is done so with complete anonymity. I want to tell you a little bit about the way Crimestoppers works. When a person calls in a tip, or when a person goes online and submits a tip, that tip goes to what we call the Fusion Center in Columbia. It is filtered through citizens, private citizens, and individuals who then take those tips and send them out to the jurisdiction where they should go. So these tips are not coming into a detective. These tips are not coming into any law enforcement officer. They're going through the Fusion Center and then going to where they need to be so that law enforcement can follow up on those tips. The number to Crimestoppers is 888-CRIME-SC. That's 888-274-6372. We also have a website where anonymous tips may be submitted, and that site is AndersonAreaCrimestoppers.com. If anybody has any questions for Sheriff McBride or for Tracy or for the family today, we'll now entertain those questions.
To the Sheriff, as the way things stand right now, is this kind of a situation where, let's be blunt here, is this one of those things where there is just a missing piece of the puzzle that you need to find and something you need to answer to hopefully find some resolution to this? Or is it after all this time, after all these, for lack of better words here, you guys have been following every lead. There's been a lot of stuff that's been just, I mean, a lot of it's just kind of fell flat. A lot of searches, a lot of things that have resulted in really nothing. Is it kind of at the point where you're trying to find a missing piece, or is it kind of like you guys are pretty much starting back from the beginning here, just trying to see whatever tip you can find it?
I think it's closer to a missing piece. I think that the legwork that's been done up to this point, also the field work that's being done now, you know, there's someone out there, and we believe multiple people out there that have information, and you know, my prayer is that it gnaws at their conscience until they come forward or call Crimestoppers and give us the information that we would like to have so we can find justice for baby Leonna and her family.
Now, granted, you are new here, but chances are you probably had a chance to talk with the detectives and the investigators, and really everyone that's been on this case from the beginning. How frustrating, at least I guess from a law enforcement standpoint, is it has this case been? I would imagine it's kind of frustrating because of all those. It's been a lot of searching, a lot of everything, but you still don't have the honor.
Yes, I mean, it's very frustrating, and it's been frustrating from probably everybody that's from the investigators that worked the case initially to the volunteers that came out and searched, and the firemen and everybody that had, including the community of Pendleton, everybody that's had or is that a stakeholder in this case, or you know, we want to see this case resolved. And so we know that people have some information out there that can help us close the gap in order to pursue this case to the end. And so again, we urge those people to come forward and bring some closure for this family and justice for baby Leonna.
Sheriff, in your experience, how does an increase in a reward of this magnitude help lead to more tips, more people coming forward?
Sure. I mean, you know, in this case, I hope it's more of a conscience issue with someone than a money issue, but money talks and money helps. So, you know, with the reward certainly being at this level, at this amount, we hope that maybe it just entices someone a little bit more that has the information that we need to come forward. But, you know, we've found in the past with other cases that it indeed helps.
With you at the helm, how are things different in the way you're approaching this continued investigation versus maybe what we've seen before, if anything?
I would say, you know, we're not going to, you know, live in the past, but we're just moving forward. But we know that people work very hard on this case. We have some of those same very people still working on this case. So we're just not giving up and just going to keep moving forward and hopefully gain some progress in this case and hope to get a resolve to it.
Tracy, you've been with your family essentially from day one on this, and this, I mean, hearing news about this it probably has to warm your heart a little bit, but they're increasing the reward for this. But from your perspective, and you're dealing with your family, you've been down there in the community. Tell me a little bit about, I guess, right now, the sense of frustration, because it's been so long.
This is very frustrating, and I've always said, just from the beginning, I never thought it would take this long. I never could have imagined that we'd be going into the second year of asking where's baby Leonna, however we are. And so, thanks to Crimestoppers and Sheriff McBride and people in the community and, Leonna's family as well, we stuck to it and we continued to push and push and push. So this right here, I mean, just knowing that the amount is $10,000 now, the reward money that's being offered, we just pray that someone comes forward, with answers, with viable answers that we can use, and, we pray that we can finally get closure, with whatever the situation, was that occurred. We just pray that this makes someone speaks up. This is a very emotional time for me. Leonna has become everybody's baby. She's become everybody's child. But me being so close to the family and everything, I can't even express the amount of gratitude in my heart, at this moment. It's just really hard to express what we've all been through. This is the most difficult case that I've ever dealt with. This is the most challenging thing that I've ever had to try to accomplish, and I felt like I failed in so many opportunities as far as bringing Leonna home. And so, my prayer is this right here will make something come to pass where I don't feel like all our work was in vain, because up until this point, we've almost given up on several different occasions, but we pushed each other. Myself, Leonna's grandfather, my husband, my members, working with Sheriff McBride, working with Garland Major, everybody coming together. We became a force for each other. We became each other's shoulder to lean on. But I never imagined that someone so small that I never held would change my life in such a phenomenal way.
And a question for Leonna's grandfather. I know from, obviously we've done so much, so many stories trying to keep it out there, that y'all haven't lost hope. What does this do for that hope and the hope of getting closure and getting answers?
Well, you're saying, what I hope, like say somebody come forward to let everybody know, and put a closure on it, because I feel like never who was responsible with her should be accountable. And we keep hearing so many saying that the family did this to the baby, but that's never happened. So I just hope, it's come out, we find out what happened to her and, get justice.
What does it describe, if you can even put into words, what it's been like for y'all just not having those answers?
It really hurts, because just like a couple weeks ago when that baby was missing by my house, it's touching me, because I like another baby missing, and it brings back the memories of my grandbaby. So like I say, I called Tracy, because me and Tracy went down there, and then all the force that I seen that and I'm glad that they found the baby. And like I told Tracy, I said, I wish they had this force for my grandbaby. Mine probably would be here today. But we didn't have that. So it hurted me that day. To see everything they had down there. And it hurt me to my heart.
What message, because there's a lot of cameras here, what message, if somebody has information, even if it's a little something, or someone who knows something more, what message do you want out to that person?
Well, I feel like the person who out there that knows any little thing, I feel like they should come forward to let somebody know, because right now, we need them right now, because we still ain't found my grandbaby yet, so I feel like, the best thing they can do is let somebody know, what happened.
Back to Tracy real quick. Do you feel that this is one of those circumstances where a lot of people, there might be several people that might know something in that community, and they're just not wanting to talk, and this might be the one thing that they need to actually finally get them to talk?
Yes, there are a lot of people that know, and for some odd reason, they'll talk to each other, but they won't talk to the people who can help and who can do something about it. You know, so, and it's very disheartening because this is a baby, this is a child, you know, and I know that there's a street code, the stop snitching stuff and all that, no snitch stuff, but I mean, babies, when it comes to children, the code needs to be broken. You're not a snitch, you can be a hero, you know, and then not only that, I mean, just like Sheriff McBride said, money changes a lot of people's lives. It's $10,000 now that we're putting out there. It will be anonymous. You know, we're not going to run around telling people who told us, but we need to know because we know people know. We've heard all the rumors. We've heard things detail to detail, and everything that we've heard is very hurtful. However, if it's true, we need to know the truth. You know, we need to stop with all the rumors and the he say, she say, and people who actually know, the people who are actually there, the people who can actually speak the truth. They need to come forward and not be afraid.
This could be for anybody. You mentioned Leonna's Law, the length of time. You also sort of mentioned that we saw the force behind this most recent case in finding that child. How does Leonna's case and the investigation into trying to bring her home, how does it change how you investigate these cases and others moving forward?
Well, I think, we've had a couple of missing children here just in the last month. And I think that children are our most precious gift. And, having, learned probably a lot from Leonna's case, we're going to put every resource out there that is available to us in any of these type of cases or situations. And of course, the city had a 2-year-old and that's what Leonna's grandfather's referring to. And city, county, federal folks were out there, and everybody came together, and because nobody wants to see a repeat of what happened almost 2 years ago. So that's a scary thing when you can't find a child. So I think it's one of those unfortunate things. We want to solve this case desperately, and but we've also taken away so much already just from her case and how we conduct our investigations from here on out.
Two questions for Tracy and the grandfather. I guess first off, can you tell us a little bit, I know we've all heard about it, but it doesn't hurt to hear it again. Tell us about Leonna and also kind of what it means that citizens are coming out offering money to help.
You want our grandfather to tell you about Leonna? Okay. Right. Tell them about Leonna and
what it means to have the community coming out offering money to help.
Well, I feel like saying, it helps a whole lot because, from time we met Tracy and started, it wasn't hardly that much, you know what I'm saying? But like I say, Tracy was pushing efforts to try to get it up there, you know what I'm saying? Doing these flyers, you know what I'm saying? Doing these walks with us, you know what I'm saying? To try to make somebody, come forward, but, they didn't. But I appreciate everything Tracy did, and so right now, I think what y'all doing now would be a big help, you know what I'm saying? So like I say, I thank everybody, you know what I'm saying? I thank Tracy, her husband, and her organization, because saying, went for her, we probably wouldn't be here today. So I thank you.
And also, as you mentioned, we're also going to continue to push for billboards. I believe Sheriff McBride had mentioned now that we have the $10,000 reward, we'll have billboards also with our face on that show that there's a $10,000 reward offered as well. We did billboards last December, not this past December, but last December. My organization sponsored billboards, and they were a big help as far as bringing attention to it, but there still weren't any calls, no useful information. However, this time when someone actually sees it, it's right there in their face, it's a constant reminder. We're praying that will help as well.
Thank y'all.
Just a couple of things in closing. I want to stress once again that any tips that are received through Crimestoppers are anonymous tips. I know a lot of folks they're afraid to call 911. They're afraid to call a non-emergency number for law enforcement. But anytime someone leaves a tip with Crimestoppers, it is anonymous. Even the way that we pay out our rewards is done in an anonymous way. When our treasurer writes a check to pay out a reward, he doesn't even know who he's writing the check out to. It goes to a tip number, and that person comes in and claims that from the bank. So everything that you do with Crimestoppers is done with complete anonymity. You don't have to be afraid to leave a tip on the website. You don't have to be afraid to call that number and leave that tip. I want to say also today what a tremendous impact this case has had on our community. The sheriff mentioned, Tracy mentioned, Mr. Calvin mentioned. Just a few weeks ago, I was on a scene on early one Friday morning where we had a 2-year-old missing in the city. And this is the case that was on everybody's mind that morning. We were so concerned that this was going to turn into another baby Leonna case, and we don't want that to happen, and we haven't given up on this particular case. We cannot give up on it. This is our child, everyone's child, and particularly Mr. Cowan and his family, and we are, and of course the sheriff and his organization is doing everything that they can to bring closure and to solve this case and to help this family. And that's what Crimestoppers is here for. We're about the victims. That's why we exist. We're here to help victims. Anyone have anything else? Thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, sir.